We walked towards the table and found ourselves surrounded by friends. I asked her if she wanted a drink. She nodded, and so I went to get one. It took me a long time to get one, and when I returned to our table, she was gone. I asked her friend Katie where she was, but she told me that she doesn't know. So I went to search for her. As I searching for her, I reached the garden. There, I saw two silhouettes figure outlined by the moon's silvery light. They were so close to each other that I could never describe the feeling I had when I recognized the white dress that Sam was wearing that night. I just turned and left the gymnasium. Since that night, I avoided her. Many times she tried talking to me, but I never gave her the chance to do so. I was afraid to hear her say that she loves Mark and not me. I would rather have left in ignorance of her true feelings for me than to hear from those dreaded words and feel my hope crush and my heart break. I didn't return her calls. I would not see her if she comes to our house. In the hallways, as she approaches, I would go to another direction. It also hurts to do those things, but then I thought that was the best way to forget her. Those months were tormenting, but still I kept my pride. The day of our graduation came. I was planning to take up medicine at the neighboring state and was to move out the next day. As the program ended, she approached me and handed me a rose. As she stared at me, there was something in her eyes I couldn't describe. There was sadness in them, and when she smiled, it wasn't the same smile she had. I wanted to hug her that moment, tell her that I love her, but then she turned and walked away from me. So I moved out the next day as I planned. Luckily, I was accepted at the university. I concentrated with my studies, but still, I think of her at night. I was always wondering if she thinks of me too. I tried hard not to think of her, but still, I could not stop myself from loving her. Each achievement I have was done for her. I thought, if I will be successful one day, I would be able to tell her that I love her, and by that time, I'm worthy of having her. It was a year after our graduation when I decided to return home and see her again. I thought a year is too much for me not to see her, and during the past year, I felt like a person lost in the desert and only the sight of her could quench the thirst I have inside. As I got off the plane, I went home directly, desperate to get to her house, desperate to see her, to hug her. Then I would tell her that I miss her and that I love her for a long time. This time, I am determined to let her know my true feelings for her, and I could not contain any more the love I have for her. I reached their house. I saw her elder sister, and I approached her. I smiled at her, but noticed she didn't smile back. I was confused. for she used to be a cheerful lady, just like my dear Sam. I then asked, "Hi, Jen. I guess you're surprised why I'm here." "Well, I just want to visit you, and I was also hoping to see Sam. I kind of miss her, you know." "Hmm, by the way, have you seen her?" All I saw was sadness in her eyes as she replied quietly, "Come, follow me." I was confused with the way she's acting, but still I followed her. As we were walking, I was trying to indulge her in a conversation, but she just answered my question briefly. Then I realized that she was leading me to the direction of the lake. It was still the same as I left it, with the same oak tree Sam and I used to climb up. I smiled upon remembering the kiss Sam gave me when I agreed to be her partner. It's been one of the happiest days in my life, and I realized that I miss Sam more than I thought. Then Jen stopped walking and pointed to the tree. She then whispered, "There's Sam." I looked at where she was pointing and saw a newly dug tomb with the name of the girl I ever loved. I could not believe at what I saw. I desperately tried to convincing myself that this is all just a nightmare and I would soon wake up. I stared at Jenny in disbelief with her eyes searching for explanations, and she slowly started saying, "It has been a week since she died. She died of leukemia. But even though she was sick, she never stopped thinking about you. It was even your name she uttered before she died. She asked us to bury her here, for she always regards this place as a place of love. She said that this is where she had spent the happiest days, and that was when she was with you. By the way, she also asked me to give you this." She handed me a parcel, and with that, she left. I slowly opened the parcel and saw that it contained a dry orchid from the corsage I gave her for our prom. Then, at the bottom, I saw a letter. It was dated last month. I opened it with shaking hands and started reading. To my dearest Chris, I know by this time you read this letter, I'm gone. I just want to tell you that I feel very lucky and thankful to God that I had a friend like you. I would also like you to know that I had left something inside, something I kept from you all these years. I love you, Chris, not in a friendly way, but as one who would feel like spending the rest of my life with. I have always loved you, even from the start. I guess it just bloomed each day. That's why the happiest days of my life was when you were by my side. You just don't know how I dream of you at night and wake up in the morning and dream no more for you were with me. When you're away, I can't stop crying because I was afraid to think that you were with another girl. I just can't bear to see you with another girl. I just want you all to myself. I may sound selfish, but that's how I feel.